what's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scottie Upshall in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach, this is Missin Curfew. And before the boys start snapping around, let's not forget, this show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Obes, the up dog back in studio. Our boy Swish from the chin of Scottsdale, as he would say. Swishy, congratulations, buddy. You're a good American-born player. Congrats on the gold. Up dog, my man. It still stings.
Yeah, it stings.
No, I've been sad up here for like 2 days, man. I'm still kind of sad. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still sad.
Yeah, listen, we wear the Maple Leaf with pride. We are, honorary. Grew up there. I was lucky enough to have a chance to wear the jersey as a young kid. I got to watch the game with my 2 kids and explain to them what it means to be, to cheer for your country and all that stuff. And I just think, it was a great game. I'm kind of glad the Olympics are over.
Me too.
I'm glad they're over. All this early.
We're sore losers, eh? Swishy, we're sore losers, eh? Thank God the fucking Olympics rolls.
I'm not making excuses.
I am. I'm making excuses.
I actually want to watch the NHL. The other day when, we jumped on that Zoom after and I had hardly gone to bed, I was just like, it's going to be hard to watch NHL hockey moving forward because the hockey was so fast and good and, there's a lot on the line, but I'm actually just glad it's done. Glad it's over. I would say this too if Canada won, and I wouldn't be rubbing it into anybody.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Swishy, speaking of guys who aren't sleeping, Team USA is representing every hockey player from Canada, USA, wherever you're from. These boys are doing it right. I mean, it's been impressive. Every time I turn on television, and listen, I love the United States of America. I love living here. One of the greatest countries on the planet. And the love that these guys are getting from around this country right now, I mean, these guys are legends for the rest of their life, Swishy. I mean, this Jack Hughes, he may never pay for another cocktail the rest of his life. I guess I didn't know, Swishy, how big of a deal it was going to be because I never thought you guys would actually beat us.
I know. We beat you at your own game, Obi, and, say what you want about how it went down. We still were victorious, and these guys obviously got it done. But, yeah, this runner they're on right now is insane. I mean, they floored it in Milan. They get on a bird. They land in Miami. They go right to 11. I think they did dinner at one of David Grutman's places last night.
Or something? Is that a place?
Yeah, we went to Cote. Yep. And they floored it at 11. JT Miller was singing Toby Keith like it actually sounded like Toby Keith. Yeah. Really good karaoke song. Then I think they woke up at like 8. They maybe slept for 20 minutes, got on a bird, Air Force Deuce. And now they're at the White House right now, about to. I think they landed. They got to the White House. Trump had Freebird blaring as they were showing up. So yeah, these guys are in full rock star mode right now. Obi, for me, these guys.
Bird, yeah, well, it is a good tune.
It would be hard to go back and play like Wednesday. Like Austin Matthews, he's supposed to play tomorrow. How do you come down, man? I mean, as Tom Petty said, coming down is the hardest thing.
Tom was right about that.
Tom, isn't it?
Rest in peace, Tom. Fuck, that might have been the truest lyric in all your music.
I don't know if they're going to come down from that. They're going to be high as kites from this for forever.
Yeah.
Well, when are they going to be like, when are they going to close their eyes and be like, oh, this is, I'm hungover now. No, they're just going to be riding this wave for a while, right?
So you party in Milan. They caught a bounce, right, with the big storm on the Northeast. They got to stay in Milan, which I thought was a great bounce for them. That's the hockey gods. And I'm going to get into the hockey gods when we touch more on the actual game, when we break down the Olympic hockey recap, or curtain call, Swish, you would call it. They catch that bounce.
Yeah.
So they stay in Milan, they floor it, right? Then you jump on the bird. Now you got 8 hours to shut her down. So that's perfect, right? Shut her down, land in Miami, and then full throttle.
Yeah.
So that the hockey gods, Swishy, that's a nice bounce.
Oh, it's a hell of a bounce. And then you get invited to go to the White House and you get pinned from, basically the shampoo effect from last night. You have 2 beers, you're already licked again. You're on the bird, you're headed to Washington, D.C. And then, I don't know, it's got to hit you at some point, right? Like you can ride the high for a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, like, does it hit you when you have a away game in Columbus on a Wednesday and it's dark and it's gloomy and all of a sudden you're like, holy fuck, this has been a bender, and now it's catching up to me.
Yeah, it's going to hit these guys, especially on the Rangers and Devil. I mean, the Rangers have 50 points. Up, dog, check the standings today. Like in about 2 weeks when they're playing 4 games a week,
Yeah.
I think that when JT Miller and Troche and even Hughes will probably be like, my groin's a little, you know what? I don't think I can go tonight. I think they're going to ride this wave for a couple weeks at least. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I mean, this is where, coming home and celebrating and being part of, such a special moment in history. That's when, it really probably hits home. It's one thing to be over there in the, in the village and seeing your parents and being around that same crew forever. But it's a thing coming back and going to the restaurant you always go to and going to grab coffee and walking down the street in New York, or, fucking showing up to the rink and having your teammates, be like, holy shit, man, that was crazy. I just think you ride this one for a while. And I think your coaches understand, and you got to get in there and get some points and help the team win. But I just think, fuck.
Well, it depends.
You ride her till she bucks.
It depends where you are in the standings too, right? Like, Swish, you talked about Austin Matthews before we came on here. They play our boy Coop tomorrow. It's a massive game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a must-win game here. Like, let's not forget they won their last 3 before the breakout out in Alberta, BC. It's a massive game. So, like, if you're Austin Matthews, rumor is he's going to play Swishy, but, like, how does he get cranked up for it? The teams that are in the battle, I think it's harder for these guys than if you're out of the playoffs, or if you're a team like Tampa, Carolina, and you're in already.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you guys, I mean, not that any hockey player would take a day off, but the teams that do have the luxury of maybe sitting and resting some of these players, like a Colorado, does load management make its way into hockey with some of these guys, say a Nate McKinnon, or some of these guys that, played in the gold medal game? Or is it just like, what? These guys are sickos, McDavid, they got to play, and they see Chicago coming to town, and that could be potentially a 5-point night. There's no way I'm sitting that game.
Well, McDavid's a great point. Updog's taking Beckham to the game here tomorrow night. I think it's a good bounce for McDavid. At least he gets to fly back, and he's in California for a couple days. But listen, they're sitting second in the Pacific right now, but they are legitimately 4 points out of missing the playoffs, the Oilers. So, like, do I think McDavid should get a night off? I think he's earned that. But if you're an Oilers fan and Oilers management, can you afford, they're going to get in. I'm not saying not going to get in. I'm just saying it's tight.
Yeah, no, I think it's to all good points. And you talked about your groins be barking. I think it's the load management for this wouldn't be just, hey, take a night off or two, like you deserve it. You had a long stretch. I think it's an actual thing of you flew halfway across the world. We don't want you to step into this, and be putting yourself at risk. I mean, because there's a big stretch of games here. So one or two games off the hop might not be a big deal to risk, to save, face of you getting hurt potentially. Yeah. I don't know. I think it could be a real thing, Schmaltzy.
Yeah, I do too. But you also, you got to remember too, some of these guys that weren't at the Olympics, they've been in training camp for the last week too. I talked to my brother a little bit. He said it's literally like another camp. The groins are barking, the lower back. So, I think everyone's kind of going through just an adjustment period of, you got to restart. You've taken almost 3 weeks off. These guys are coming in fresh, but it's a legit thing. And you got to wonder, some of these guys that played, especially McDavid, the amount of minutes he was playing, Makar and McKinnon, do they squeeze out maybe a game or two where they don't play him, or do they lessen the workload per game for the first, couple games? I don't know. It's hard to say, because those guys, as you know, Obi, they're so competitive that they want to be out there too.
I would love to know how they feel, right? So I think the biggest thing that you set up, dog, is flying over there. Like getting over there, it's and getting back. That's going to take some time. But like they get over there, I believe they had a week off from their last game they played in the National League till they played their first game. I believe it was a week for Team Canada. And then, listen, I don't want to bag on the Olympics because I was nowhere near sniffing playing the Olympics or any fucking Team Canada thing. But then you kick the shit out of Czechs, easy game. Swiss, easy game. France, easy game. So there's another week where you played 3 games, and how taxing were they? Like you say, McDavid, and McDavid could skate all day. Now the games in the fucking big boy in the knockout rounds, yes, those were all 3 hard games. So to me, in 2 weeks, Team Canada, and this is just my opinion, played 3 hard games in 2 weeks. That's not for guys that are used to playing 3 games a week in the National League.
It's 3 hard games. You're on the road. You're in a hotel. Mm-hmm. You're walking around the city. You're going to games. You're watching figure skating. You're answering questions. I just think it's something out of your normal routine that is taxing. And it's just just the amount of the amount of like pressure in your mind that you've gone through the last little bit, right? Like there needs to be a reset. Like I can't imagine. Is it a tug? Is it a fucking, is it some music or what? You had to reset your mind and your thoughts.
I'm talking physically. I wasn't talking mentally. I was talking from a physical. These guys are elite athletes. I'm wondering how their body's feeling mentally. If I'm Connor McDavid, sorry to cut you off there.
That's good.
Mentally, I don't know what I would be thinking right now with him. Like, yeah, he's got a great life. He's made tons of money, and he's eventually going to win. You think, but I don't know how. Like, what he's thinking. I really don't. I've been trying to put myself somewhat in his shoes because I've been sad as just a ex fucking hockey player that loves Canadian hockey.
Yeah.
What is he feeling?
No, this is a really tough thing in hockey right now with the Olympics. Is it's every 4 years. It's not you lose 2 finals in a row and you're so close to your ultimate goal. That you can just, snap on the pads at training camp next year and go do it again with your boys. This is 4 years, and this is, a chance to wear your country's jersey. Who knows if the NHL allows these guys to go back again. There's question marks there. There's never a question mark of, can I win the Stanley Cup next year? It sucks. And you got to have thick skin to be Connor, to be, Nate, to be Makar. Like, it's 4 more years. You got to wait and try to get back to the dance. And that stands to your question, dude. It's who knows what they're thinking.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Swishy, I just saw in here that Pat McAfee picked up the tab last night for Team USA at 11. I just saw it come across the ticker there. That's Pat McAfee being an absolute beauty. Swishy, just back to Team USA. First of all, JT Miller, drunkest guy there last night, which makes me proud because he's one of my favorite US-born players. And anyone that didn't think JT Miller should have been on the team, give your head a shake. And second, the applause that these guys are going to get when they come into these rinks around the NHL, especially like Jack Hughes, for example, the amount of love these guys are going to get as they travel through the NHL the rest of the year. I mean, these guys are going to be beloved everywhere they go. That's got to be, it's going to be amazing for these guys, the amount of love they're going to get in all these NHL buildings in the States.
Yeah, and even just the cities, too, where they go on the road. Everything's going to be comped. Everything, from the fan support to just the locals to people that are not even hockey fans that were glued to the TV watching this game. I mean, you saw, I believe it was ESPN that released just a graphic of everyone that was watching the game in terms of A-listers of, they're glued in for a 5 a.m. wake up for, on the West Coast here to watch these guys and, and ultimately get it done. I'll be like, I was walking around Sunday in Scottsdale, close to where I live, and the amount of people that were talking about Team USA, the hockey. I've never heard anyone talk about hockey down here, let alone when the Coyotes were here. You'd get the odd fan that was just a goofy. It was like, it reminded you of like a super fan. But the amount of people talking about the hockey and Team USA and what it meant for this country, and everyone always goes back to, the miracle on ice, because that's what we knew. It'd been 46 years. And to see that, just the camaraderie and just where the world is these days, just the sense of unity was in the desert was at a forefront here. And it was just like, it literally brought like almost like a tear to my eye, man. I was like, fuck it. Hey, like this is what it means to be American. So I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I don't know if Canada would be as, and you were there in Vancouver, but like,
I wasn't there when they won the gold. Well, when we picked the shit out of Russia up, dog, that fucking city was going.
Yeah. But like, if we win across the world again, say we won, is it as patriotic as like, this is a loaded question, but like, do they surround around like, the prime minister giving them a call and like they hadn't done it in a while, or, it's been 46 years, it seemed like patriotism, and maybe from Jack's immediate interview, right off the hop, where he thanked USA Hockey and the country and doing it for their flag and doing it for, everybody in the country. Yeah. Like Canada's won a bunch. Would they have made it about the country as big as about the game,
Yeah, probably not. And all the guys, we went back to their teams in the United States, right? Besides Connor and the guys that play in Canada. But I will say this, and this is coming from a sad Canadian. People back home today are sad.
Sad.
We fucking, our weather sucks. We don't got much back there to freaking really, some days, we got great people that love hockey, and the people that I've talked to over the last couple of days back home, there's some sad people, man. And I'm one of them. I was
Big time.
I was crushed. And I live in the States, and I'm happy for fucking Swishy and KC and Ice Pick and all the U.S.-born players, the Chuckies, but I think this is maybe a wake-up call back home, Updog, that, like, yeah, it stings, man, you know?
Yeah,
It does sting.
And I think
I just saw pure patriotism out of that you know, Jack. I'm just going to just talk about Jack Hughes there for a bit, but like his fucking post-game interview after scoring a goal, it was pure class. It wasn't like rubbing anything in. And, talked about,
and I don't think Jack Hughes is saying any of that from a political fucking standpoint.
No,
I think this is kudos,
how he feels,
Swishy, to what USA Hockey means to these kids. Like what USA Hockey means to these kids and the way these kids are raised and their parents and their coaches and all the guys that came before them, Big Walt, Holly, Chelly, JR. Like, to me, when I saw that Updog, I just thought he was so proud to be playing for USA Hockey. That's what I took from what Jack said. It had nothing to do about anything else. And he was so proud to win a gold for America and USA Hockey.
Well, yeah, boys. And if you think about it, like our age kids and guys all the way up to Jack Hughes, who was a 2001 birth year. So the oldest guys on the team were my age, and Vinny Trocheck and JT Miller, who I played with at some of these USA events back in the day. And Obi, Canada was always the gold standard. You guys were the superior nation. And, you know, to be honest, when we grew up watching USA versus Canada, we never had your number. I mean, I think we beat you one time at the Saskatoon World Junior in 2010, and that was like, we celebrated that almost like a nation. And so these kids, you know, they know how much it means to be at the top and to take down, I guess, theoretically, your bigger brother in the sense of you guys being the gold standard of hockey, and to do it for a country and to have the Olympics back for the first time in 14 years or whatever it's been. You know, it's truly special, man. It really is, and it's bigger than the game, and it's just a testament to where USA Hockey is at. And you know, like it's almost like the arrival of like this next generation. Like we're here and we're the champions, man. It's really special.
Yeah, and we've been lucky enough to get to know a lot of guys from USA Hockey since we started this podcast. And I kept telling my buddies back home, like these guys they have a brotherhood, man. They've come up together. They obviously they had the big drought of not winning a gold since 1980. But and we're gonna break down the game as we move on here. But my biggest concern, Updog, is USA. Are they better at partying than us now? Are they like, is USA Hockey bigger beauties? Do they go harder than Canadian hockey players?
I mean, they got Miami within their walls. So, yes, they have a chance to go to 11. Like, we couldn't have done that. We weren't flying home.
We go right to Toronto, go right to fucking everything's for sale.
Yeah.
AT money, fucking open up doors again.
Just think about that. Like, you know, they could go... And the Stanley Cup's in South Florida.
Have our Canadian guys, have we got to the point where we're almost too like, we're the best? When you just like fucking go out there, play hard, get drunk, and fucking who cares? Like, show yourself, be yourself. Or have we got too much where we're like, you know,
I think we're the best stage. Like Brad Marchand would have been fucking office rocker.
Good point.
He would have brought everyone into the fight or the party for that matter. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be at 11, you know, unfortunately. And it's where is it? Is it at, you know, the brass rail?
So you're saying that just the opportunity they had
to fly to Miami and then go to the White House, like we could have done that. Mm-hmm. There's no way. But we would have celebrated, and you would have seen epic pictures in the room. Yeah, they would have been spraying champagne, and they would have had the whole thing. But post like land in your country and rage, I don't know if we have that element to our capabilities.
Swishy, is USA Hockey better?
Maybe they fly to St. John's or right to George Street.
Are they better? Are they better partiers? Are you guys better partiers than us now?
But I don't think it's a sense of you guys think you're entitled at any point. I think the Canadian guys are still very FERDA, aka for the boys. But I do think there is something to be said here, fellas, that our squad stayed in the Olympic Village the whole time and hung out together as a team 24/7. Open door policy in the Tkachuks, as well as the Hughes suite. And we got guys making 8 figures sleeping in double wide beds and basically a glorified cot in a dormitory. And I just think, I don't know if that's the epitome of why we won or if it's even a reason to consider, but I just think the unity that we had and how much these guys have played together coming up through the U.S. program, World Juniors, World Championships, man, that was a team that I've never seen before that USA Hockey threw together. And I just think it all started and really came together, and they're going to walk together as champions forever. Is because They were with each other 24/7, and they genuinely love each other.
Yeah, that's kind of where I guess I didn't say it right. That's kind of what it was.
No, it
like,
makes sense.
was there more? Was there so much pressure on Team Canada Uppy that when we went over there that it was just like there's so much. There's so much pressure on these guys that because even if we would have won the gold medal, I still would have said the Team USA looked like they had more fun over there. And maybe that's just because they post more, and maybe Team Canada's more secretive, which we clearly are. I mean, the Tkachuk brothers are all over the fucking social media. The Hughes brothers, same thing. Like they show what they're doing. We don't necessarily do that at Hockey Canada. We kind of keep everything, behind closed doors and not let. So maybe it's just they don't show what they're doing. But to me, just from what I saw, it looked like Team USA was having a better time throughout the process.
Yeah, I think they're a tighter group. I'll just say that. Like they've been together. Like Schmaltzy just said, age gaps aren't, too crazy. The fact that they grew up playing the same sort of system and that's why they look back and they thank, USA Hockey all the time. And they thank, the way that these programs develop all of them on the same level. But these guys they're going to go back and they're going to battle each other. And there's just something there that's different. And we've called it on this podcast. We've said forever, dude, that the USA is coming, and we weren't wrong. We weren't wrong, from the World Juniors to the way that these guys all, hang out with each other. It's heads up.
Yeah. And heads up because they are having a time.
Yeah.
They are having a time. KC put the official medal count in there. Norway leads the charge. Enough said about the Winter Olympics when Norway's leading the charge. Team USA most medals ever. Updog, did we won a curling medal that came with some criticism, but dude, how many medals?
Was that in the final?
No, that was the double tap.
Double stack.
He did the double tap.
Yeah,
right. Updog, I want to move on to your golf, but Swishy, you were boots on the ground there. Just talk to me about, that was not the first time you've been to Italy, but how was the food, man? I've been there once and the food is just next level.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And honestly, the coolest part was the events that weren't the hockey games. From the men's figure skating, it was hilarious. It was so flamboyant. That was hilarious. You had the speed skating. That was really cool. The big air. We went to the mountain one day in Livigno. It was awesome. But the food, Obi, and I wanted to just shout out the one place. It's called Da Bolognese. That's the place that Bobby Gucci had his shirt off in. The food was incredible. And then the coolest part about the place, though, is when the restaurant closed at midnight, they had a dart bar just on the other side of the room. So you go in there and just hammer darts and wine. What a special place. The food was, the pasta, the pizza, it was all good. And the crazy thing is I wasn't even really working out over there. And usually I'm at least one a day workout. And I ended up coming back lighter. It's like my pants barely fit me. I was walking a bunch, but the food, I know you've talked about it before. You can drink and you can eat, and somehow you lose weight over there because just doesn't have all that shit in it.
Yeah, I didn't lose weight, but I didn't gain. If I would have ate like I did over there, I would have gained 30 pounds over here. It was just pasta, pizza. I did see you getting the heaters in you. You just smoking down the darts over there. I did respect that. Anytime you're just over in Europe, they don't mind smoking over there. Right? Smoke them if you got them.
Oh, I was hammering darts. Those Vogue darts, those skinny darts, they're unbelievable. The long stick, you just it's like a defensive stick in lacrosse, just a long, skinny stick, just banging down a dozen of them a night. Perfect.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I followed along. You guys went over there, a couple single guys. That's exactly where you should have been, so good on you. Updog, my man, the Pro Tour was out here in beautiful Palm Desert. When she's breezy, swing easy. I did see a couple clips of some baseball players talking about if we don't hurry up, all the hockey guys are going to drink all the booze. And then I saw a clip of Holly and Roenick being like, "Yeah, maybe the hockey player didn't win this, but no one drank more than us." I'm like, "Fucking rights, boys. That's the hockey mentality." But good showing. I watched you the second day. You're like Tiger in fucking 2000. You're just coming up the leaderboard, fella. You were finding a way.
It was a great event, and shout out to just all the people that put this thing on. It's a growing environment. A lot of great guys. They brought in this is what Richie was talking about the first time. He's like, dude, they bring in like a locker room, and you got like a spot to change, and you got your towels, and you got a full bar in there, and then they got all the massage tables. Dude, it makes you feel like you're actually a pro.
Back in the National.
Like no one would like this more than you. You like to I know you will. Yeah. To travel, you're in the National League.
Yeah.
The nice hotel bed.
I do.
and a nice stall with your name tag.
Yeah.
It's really, it's first class. And then they make you a nice fucking drink. So,
Yeah. I heard. I saw Richie. Richie was no short of boozing. He got a few in him.
but Schmaltzy, dude, this was another 3-day event. Wednesday, the second round, we got held up 3 hours for a windstorm. I'd never seen wind like this ever. I was walking up a hill, John Elway behind me, walking up a hill. I had 2 bags with me. I almost got blown over backwards like 3 or 4 times. It was crazy. There was probably 25 palm trees got ripped right out of the earth and just laid across the fairway. And so we got to play full lift clean place.
That's nice.
Yeah, for the Wednesday.
That helps.
But everything else played down. Tiny little greens, dinner plate greens. Indian Wells Country Club did a great job of hosting us. Shout out to Tyler Clifford again.
Back-to-back champ, huh?
Back-to-back champs. He beat Pavelski, who's a stick. And Joe Pav is up in fucking Madison hitting, balls just probably in his basement.
Yeah.
With no golf course. And he comes out, he's 67 first day, 75, I think, second day, but then grinded. And, I thought he was going to pull through. I was betting on him. We could bet every day. By the way, that's what you would like. Every day they match up guys to do a Calcutta. So you basically can bet on O'Brien to beat Schmaltz,
Yeah.
And then you can take pitchers versus infielders, and you can take hockey guys versus basketball guys with the line. So it was all
There
good.
you are, 11th.
Yeah, I finished 11th. I was second in the hockey world. But these are some good golfers. Like John Schmaltz is great. Marty Fish, shout out to fellow lefty tennis player. He's a stick. Beat Tony Romo. How's that?
Yeah, that's nice to put on the resume.
He's all
Whit
Merrifield. You'd like him.
Played for the Jays.
Played with me. Played with the Jay. I know. Pod for Toronto Jay. He said he'd come on.
Justin Upton, I used to party with his brother BJ in Tampa. Guy's a savage.
Played with him in the third day.
There's Richie tied for 32nd. Ryan Johansson, is that a hockey player?
Yeah, Ryan Johansson, hockey guy.
Yeah.
He battled it out.
Panger.
There's our boy Panger. Thanks to Panger for coming on last week too. Schmaltzy, what's up?
I just want to ask you, I'd be like, who was the coolest guy, non-hockey guy that you didn't know, that you got to have a beer with or play around with? I saw that basketball guy was
the man.
Was he a beauty?
James Johnson. Shout out to the guy. He
Yeah.
played 16 years in the fucking NBA. Played as like a tough motherfucker. In fact, I saw Chandler Parsons in Aspen this weekend. I was telling him about it because he actually got invited to go too. Chandler's a beauty. And I told him, I'm like, I play with JJ, James, Johnson. And he's like, dude, toughest guy in the league. You did not fuck with that guy. And my experience with him, we got to the
Dude, ever heard of Bob Probert?
We're sharing a cart, and his brother was there, and his brother was caddying for him. And dude, right off the hop, me and him just started shooting the shit. And he's like the nicest guy, lives in Miami, and he's got dreads, and we just fucking had such a good time. And I was pumping him up, like he'd hit good shots. Kind of brought me back to my days where like you had your buddy on the team, and every time he'd make a good play, he'd fucking right on, fella. But he was like, dude, I've never played with never played golf with a guy that was just fucking so energetic, uplifting. I'm like, dude, we're fucking drinking tequila, competing out here. It's great.
Yeah.
And then I watched some of his videos. He's actually 27-0 in mixed martial art fights too.
Yeah.
He's a killer. 6'10". And
the guy with the neck tats, right? He played in Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mostly Miami. I'd have to look up his stats, but
He played with the Pacers too. Yeah. He's actually nails.
he's nails.
Those guys in the association, when they're out there on the golf course, they like to hit the weed pen or what? When they play or no? They puff them.
J.R. Smith is a cloud fan. But no, he didn't. Although he owns a weed company up in New York, a pretty nice little weed store.
Yeah.
And but he's a guy, like if I go to Miami, he's one of the first guys I'm texting now because he's like, dude, I'll show you and your boys like a time. You're ever in town.
There you go.
He loved you, and he was asking when he could come on the show. Even
Yes, yeah. Casey Conway came for the back nine on the Thursday. I was like, Casey.
It was a great day.
Yeah. He drove with BMO. It was awesome. We had a blast out there.
Who pays the the winnings earnings? Who Smoltzy has his pocket?
No, there's a gentleman. There's a gentleman there. He's an oil guy out of Texas, older guy, and he's the one that basically funded this tour. So for a full year, he funds it. And if you can't tell, there's a lot of great content that comes out of it.
Yeah,
all the guys and doing their thing, and they want to pitch it and sell it to someone that wants to build the tour around ex-players and chirping and competing. And so that's sort of the mission. It's his right now, but he's going to try to sell it
Gotcha.
eventually. But right now he's paying for the golf course, which isn't cheap. He's paying, you just got to get there and, you pay for your stay, and then they provide. There's Upton right there on the far right. So that was our final group on the last day, which I have.
He's a member at Pine Canyon too, Upton.
Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah.
Tons of Pine Canyon guys up there. Cody Ross, good guy. He's a
Old catcher.
Stick. Yeah, he's a stick.
Look at BMO. What a beauty.
Yeah, BMO enjoyed riding with you. AKC?
He's a beauty.
Yeah, it's a great day.
When's the next one, bud? How many times when do you get paid? Is it like Happy Gilmore? They just give you out there on those checks. Give me one of those big checks.
I should probably start writing them. Hey, where's that check?
I'll just take one of those big checks. Like, yeah, I'll take that. Put it in the back of the car.
So the next one's in Mississippi. And
Nerd?
yeah, it's a weird place.
That's where
it's GPT is the airport you got to fly into. Chat GPT. It's in the beginning, the end of March. So
okay, so you got a couple weeks here to.
Yeah, end of March maybe. Yeah, end of March. What's today? Is it February?
Today's February 24th.
End of March, and then there's one in Palm Beach, which Obes, I think if we could put your name in the hat for that one, I can go out to Palm Beach.
No, I'm not playing in it. I'll go play golf with Gratz.
Yeah, maybe Caddy though.
I'll go play golf.
Yeah, that's Caddy, but and then shout out to my boy Benny Mack, who was on my bag, did a hell of a job.
I played golf with Thursday.
Yeah, he was great. So him and his little guy Parker came out and had
what's all this footage here that we were showing? Is this what Casey filmed for
This
you or
is
what?
John Elway opening up a box of cards with me.
Yeah.
This is 2 packs of 1984 tops, his rookie year.
Yeah.
And as he opened them up, he talked about the guys. He throws Terry Bradshaw right there. He threw Terry Bradshaw across the room.
Doesn't like Terry.
And he pulls a Dan Marino rookie card with me.
So what does that mean?
Him and Dan Marino. So they were 2 unopened packs of 1984 tops cards.
Yeah.
And in those, you had a chance to hit like a John Elway. The 2 biggest stars of that year was John Elway and Dan Marino.
No, I know that. Yeah. They're both studs.
For sure. With the best
But
career.
pulling a Dan Marino card, what does that mean? Like, that's like a home run? That's money in your pocket? Or what do you mean by pulling a Dan Marino card?
Like he opened the pack and found one in there.
So that's a keeper.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, you get a Dan Marino rookie.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to learn as I go here. So
when I say pulling it, like, he opened up and he talks about 2 of the guys out of there were Stanford guys that went to school before John Elway was at Stanford. And then he also pulls a card of a lineman that was in the drive. So he played for Cleveland in 87 when John went the length 98 yards in the last minute. And that guy was huffing and puffing. He was huffing and puffing the whole way down the field. So it was actually great that, he looked through these cards with me and got to talk about some of the players.
And then you're going to pump this content out, or?
I'm going to pump this out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Love it.
So we got to, we edit it all.
It's got a nice cocktail going there.
Yeah, we had a nice cocktail.
Well, fella, good playing. Good luck in the next one. That's a great event for you boys that you all get in there and be able to get tuned up and playing golf 3 days in a row.
With 4 with the practice.
Fuck, I can't even do that. So, good playing up, dog. We'll be right back at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Pick 6, fellas. DraftKings' newest fantasy pick'em game. Just choose more or less on 2 or more player stats. The more accurate your picks, the bigger the payouts. Fellas, I forgot to get my gold medal, pick 6, and I'm not going to lie. This game started at 5. Fucking game started at 5 a.m. But hey, listen, for you boys that are out there playing the pick 6, NHL is back tomorrow. It is a sprint to the Stanley Cup final. We are going to have 4 games a week per team. I mean, the amount of hockey these guys are about to play. So if you're getting involved or you're not getting involved, there's going to be so much hockey. You got to get the pick 6 going, boys. Shots, and more shots, saves, points, goals. It's got it all. But fellas, the amount of hockey that these guys are about to play starting tomorrow, like in a month here, Swishy, I bet you we're doing this pod are just like, I cannot believe how much hockey these guys play. It's about to be game on, and it's going right to June if you want to win the big, silver, gorgeous-looking Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be every other day. Like you said, Obi, 4 games a week. It is a full-on sprint. A lot of these guys, 90% of the National Leaguers are coming out of an 8-day camp here. So it's going to hit them right across the chin, as I would say. But the thing you got to remember, too, is we're inching towards deadline day here, too, brother. Teams are looking to add. We have some movement earlier today with Brett Kulak going to Colorado, Sam Girard going the other way to Pittsburgh. So there's a few names to keep our eyes on as we inch towards that trade deadline day. Nazem Kadri, Vinny Trocheck, amongst other players. It's going to get real interesting here, brother, because teams need to load up, and then they need to just hit that rocket ship and ultimately fly to the end of the season.
Let's talk about that trade. I've been begging for the Avalanche to trade Sam Girard for fucking years.
Yeah, you have.
Like, I've been like, well, enough with this guy. Like, I'm sure he's a great kid and he's been there since day one when he was drafted there, but I love Brett Kulak. I never thought the Oilers should have got rid of him. I know you got to give up something to get something, but boys, I think this is a great move for the Colorado Avalanche. He brings more size. He's a better skater than Sam Girard, and and he's got the experience of being the back-to-back finals. I'm a big Brett Kulak fan, and I love this trade for my Avs.
Yeah, you think he goes with Manson? Like, that's a good shutdown player, right? You got Taves and Makar, and then that 3-4, those two big boys eating up minutes, making good plays, good passes. I mean, he was everything Edmonton really needed. They just couldn't find a way to keep him, right?
Yeah, like right now they got Taves, Makar, Manson, Burns, Kulak, Sammy Malinsky.
And maybe he plays Burns.
Yeah. It's a nice.
That's a good series 4.
I just thought it was, and Swish, you know this, like Sam Girard's been there forever. Yeah, he won a cup the 1 year with them, obviously, but I just thought, man, why are they not moving this guy? And I just think this is perfect timing. When I saw it today, when me and the Updog were sitting around, I just think it's a great move for Chris McFarland, Joe Sakic, and the Avs, man. I think this is a great move for them.
Yeah, and I just think you can't have too many light bodies on your back end. So Sam Malinsky, they just locked up for a 3 or 4 year ticket. He's a light body back there, Obi. He's a right shot, but he's light. You can't have too many of those guys that are sub 5'9" and play a lighter game. So to trade out Sam Girard for Kulak is a hell of a move, and you get ultimately more size back there and a guy that can really box guys out from the dots out come playoff time.
Yeah. I mean, boys, it is on starting tomorrow. So get involved. The Pick 6 app. Ride the upside, fellas. Moving on here at Missin Curfew. Get this guy a Labatt Blue. This segment is brought to you by Labatt. Brewed for the chirps, the rivalries, and the sacred art of trash talk. Labatt. Brewed for the roast. Swishy, my man, we'll let you go first. Who are you dishing an ice-cold, pristine Pilsner to?
Yeah, well, I was going to give one to the city of Milan, so I'll shower the city of Milan with icy cold Labatt Blue and just pour one out because it was a great spectacle there. The food was amazing. The events were great. The rink wasn't perfect, but it is what it is. But I want to give a gal an icy cold Labatt Blue. That's Megan Keller. Game-winning goal for the U.S. on the chick side of things. Oh, my God. I'd always say to the boys, when you got no angle, baby, it's time to dangle. And that's what she exactly did. So, pretty sweet move there. Nifty goal, OT thriller for the sweep, not only on the men's side, but the women's side. So Megan Keller with a little no angle, let's dangle, baby. Hopefully she had a few icy cold Labatt Blues, but I want to give the ladies some flowers over there. So, USA Hockey, the ladies, they were duking it out with Canada. Hopefully they had a great time. And Megan Keller, wow, what a move, lady fella.
The American girls were just better. I mean, the fact that we hung in and kept that game tight 2-1, I thought they were just better than us.
Yeah. I mean,
they're good, that American girls team.
Yeah, what a goal. You talk about dangling. That was a little pull, and then you got to get the whole body out of the way, Yeah. It was great hockey, though. I will say, like, the U.S. rivalry with Canada in women's hockey has always been great. I know the Americans have had the upper edge, I think at 12-0 in their last, dozen meetings. But to make it such a close game and to have an overtime, it was pretty special. Were you at that game, Schmaltzy?
No, I wasn't. I was watching that on the tube. I should have went, but I was not there. I was not on the ground.
Can we talk about the one scene? You guys did some great content over there, but I laughed out loud and had to show all these guys. I think it was at the golf tournament now when you guys were in the hotel lobby and he had the mic and he was up there doing stand-up and you had that blanket on, like sucking your thumb, or what the hell? What was the background of that skit?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was just like, it was kind of like a spin-off of Tommy Boy or like Saturday Night Live when Chris Farley would always kind of go like full retard around Spade.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, Bob, go tell a joke up there. And I'm going to go like full like Farley, like sucking on his thumb, like fake laughing and just kind of being an idiot. So We ran it a few times, but that actually ended up being the first time we did. I'm like, dude, I can't suck on my thumb that many times in this restaurant right now. Like, you got to nail your joke here. So that was the essence of it. Was like when Farley would just get Spade going and try to make him crack. Is kind of the thing there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was well deserving of a Labatt Blue too, my friend.
Up dog, who you dishing one to, fella?
Boys, this goes without saying. I'm going to slide a Labatt Blue Light to Jack Hughes, who has just etched his name in hockey history, U.S. hockey history, worldwide hockey history. And it's just so fitting that on Miracle Ice, Miracle on Ice, the movie, that, the coach back in the day scratches off Jack Hughes as the last cut of that team, which is, it's so ironic and so cool the same way. But for me, Jack Hughes, I've always been a fan of this kid. Frosty says he's the best kid. I've hung with him a few times. He's gone out of his way to meet my niece, to send my little guy a jersey. Just a first-class kid. And to lose the game like that as a Canadian, for me, cheering for Canada, I couldn't be happier for the kid who scored the goal. And, there's a new golden goal scorer. It was Sidney Crosby. Now it's Jack Hughes. Just looking at this, he's got 500,000 more followers on his Instagram.
He's got 1 million followers.
Got to be going buck diddy. I'd love to see what those DMs look like. But just how iconic of a photo with him with the flag and his teeth fucking halfway gone out of his face. And I couldn't feel better for a kid to have scored a goal like that in front of his family, in front of his brother. And Obes, I know you like this kid too, but it was pretty special. So he's well deserving of this Labatt Blue.
Yeah, I'm just jealous of his DMs right now. And 1 million followers just like that. This guy's going to be like that picture right there. I put that right up there with Rocky Balboa after he beat Drago in Rocky 4 when he's got the American flag over him. He's fucking bleeding everywhere. Like, look at that. Like, that is a hockey player right there. Teeth knocked out, American flag draped over him, flowing hair. I don't know the kid personally. Frosty loves him. You love him. And you've been a big fan of his from day one. So congrats to him. And he's been drinking some ice cold Labatt Blues. KC, you want to dish any back there? You're all horned up over the gold medal, but anything you want to dish or what?
Yeah, I'll throw one to an obvious one, but to the whole USA program, the way they won, it was a great win, but the whole thing with Johnny Hockey, with his kids, including him in the locker room, having his jersey, bringing the 2 little kids out on the ice, just incredible. Another moment everyone here loved. But it's just so cool to see, in Orange County, California, not a hockey hotbed or anything, but I'm at Mutt's at 4 a.m. and there's fucking 100 people out in the line to get into the bar, and it's packed at 4 a.m. Beach ball's packed, and you got little kids chanting USA all around here. It's just cool to see what hockey's doing in this country. It's great to see the boys represent the country well, and especially with the Gaudreau family. I just love what they did. So
yeah,
USA Hockey, the whole organization, the National Development Program, everyone get a bunch of Labatts in you.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think there was a tear, like a dry eye, on planet Earth when they brought those kids out on the ice. I looked at that like, holy shit!
You weren't crying because we lost.
I was crying because I had slept.
I was crying because we lost. I thought that was amazing what they did bringing those kids out there, though. It was cool. That was so cool.
First class.
So cool. And they had the jersey and his dad crying.
It's amazing. Man.
When they panned to his dad and he was crying, that's when it really hit me. Like, I don't have kids, but I can't imagine, what he goes through day to day, right? Like, that gives him a little break to where he can go over there. But what Mr. Gaudreau is dealing with day to day with losing 2 of his sons, man, I can't even imagine it, dude. And I don't even have kids. I got 2 nephews. If something ever happened to my nephews, I would be fucking crushed. And that was 2 of his kids so when they panned to him, I'm with you. I was like, wow, that really, really hit home. But Team USA, they've done the right thing all along, man. They made that family feel part of the team. The whole NHL has done an unbelievable job with that. So well said, KC. Get this guy at ice cold Labatt Blue. Chucky, you fucking beauty. Matty Tkachuk. Are you sick of getting drunk at 11 yet, Chucky? Are you sick of partying, smoking cigars, and spraying champagne?
I don't think he is.
In the last fucking 3 years, he's got 2 cups and a gold medal to go with it. He's clearly got everybody on 11 on speed dial too, right? Like, as soon as he found out the bird wasn't going to New York, it was going to Miami, he's like, dude, just fucking whole place, people in there, paparazzi waiting. I'm like, this guy is an NHLer. Chucky, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. But Swishy, the run that this guy has had, He's an ultimate team guy. Frosty, the trainer, loves him. The trainers in Calgary loved him. Everyone loves this guy. He takes care of his teammates, takes care of the trainers, like I said, and he can take care of the boys when they win a championship because he can get you dialed with whatever you need, and they go hard.
Yeah, and they had that open bar, I think, for 3 hours at 11. So that's a byproduct of bringing 2 mugs there as well. But I mean, it's just him and Brady Obes. I mean, you just have such an advantage and such a different understanding of the game of hockey when you're basically conceived in an NHL locker room.
Yeah.
Right? Like, these kids have been in an NHL locker room since that time they couldn't even walk. And when you have that luxury of being around your dad and understanding just the different nuances of how a team and at the highest level, how it works, you just have such an advantage. And the coolest thing is they're just good dudes. You know what I mean? Like, there's one thing, they can have all those experiences or be a part of it, but at the end of the day, they're team first guys. And, they like to share the wealth.
Yeah, they do. And they both like to put back the ice cold Labatt Blues. So good on you, boys. I want to throw another one to our boy, Jack Eichel. Ikes, get yourself a pristine Pilsner. Feels like forever ago. Ikes was in Buffalo and was he going to get the surgery? Wasn't he going to get the surgery? Were they going to trade him? Dealing with all that. And, he was out in Newport during that time and it was weighing on him. And, next thing you know, he's a Vegas Golden Knight and he wins the Stanley Cup and now he's the #1 center on Team USA. And kind of a silent assassin, so to speak, Ikes, right? You don't hear a whole lot from him in the media. You don't hear a whole lot from him on social media. He lets his game do the talking. But he was a really big part of that Team USA. I mean, with him and the 2 Chuck brothers, that line was one of my favorite lines in the whole fucking tournament. And Ikes deserves a lot of credit, up dog.
He controlled the play. I thought he was great in the final game. And he's just part of that leadership group that they lean on. They lean on him when games are tough. He's been there. He's a Stanley Cup champ. They all know what kind of stuff he's gone through. But again, he's the byproduct of, this program coming up, playing hockey at such an elite level since he was a young kid. And, 2nd overall pick that now has a Stanley Cup and Olympic gold medal. So, and a bunch of beer. Thanks to us.
Bunch of beer. I got a few more boys here. Bear with me. I'm going to Team Canada now.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby, he broke the career points, but McDavid might have already broke it. Did McDavid already break it?
He was close.
He was close. He's like, hey, Sid, good job. I'm going to break it here before the tournament's over. But Sid, fella, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. It's a goddamn shame you got hurt. He is he represents the country so well every time, up dog. Like, for a guy who's done everything, won everything, he comes in there, he's humble, he's a good teammate, he's a good leader. I just want to say, Sid, get yourself a nice cold Labatt Blue for once again being Captain Canada and doing it the right fucking way. And then Cale Makar, fella, get yourself a nice cold Labatt Blue. I don't think he gets enough love. McDavid was unbelievable and the best player in the tournament, MVP. But when Cale Makar was on the ice, Team Canada was different. And I mean, fucking every time he touched the puck, he made us better than everyone else. And obviously, McDavid and McKinnon and so on helped, up dog. But I don't think he still gets enough credit for how important he is to Team Canada and how of an elite player he is, because he was just as important, if not more important. I'm going to say this. He was more important than McDavid on that hockey team because our back end, which we're going to get into, was kind of our downfall a bit, in my opinion, but he was just so good every time he touched the puck.
He's the best defenseman, I think, ever to play the game. The way he skates, the way he moves the puck, the way, his vision is, he's won. And you're right. He was a leader. He was a go-to guy on that blue line in that room. It's a shame. Him scoring that goal, that was a huge goal. I mean, we were snake bit in that game. We were kind of snake bit going, fuck, we got to get one past.
I just kept saying, leave Makar on the ice. Leave him on the fucking ice. Leave him on the ice.
Come off.
I would have played him fucking 57 minutes. I would have. You all right? Keep going, fella. I mean, as a defenseman, Swish, you know how hard it is to play back there. And like I said, I'm going to repeat myself, but fuck, anytime he touched the puck, it was a different game. A different game for Team Canada when he had it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference, too, is off the blue lines, how quickly he can get inside the dots when that puck goes low to high, and just how dangerous he is with his deception. But I just love seeing him come downhill from his own goal line with a little bit of time and just dicing up a neutral zone, whether it's with a head fake, whether it's with his passing or his feet. He just feels like he's a threat every time he has the puck, and he's just so aggressive. And that's the thing I love about him is the power he skates with.
Yeah. It's well said. And he had a hell of a tournament. He's a hell of a player and fun to watch. I mean, I never watched Bobby Orr play. And you can throw Quinn Hughes in the mix, too. I mean, when Quinn Hughes has it on his stick, it's absolutely insane. But last but not least for me, boys, the old pesky Finns. Fellas, bronze medal, get yourself a pristine Pilsner. I said they had no chance with Barkov. And thank God Barkov wasn't in the lineup because
got past the semi.
I'll tell you what, we could be sitting here talking about the Finns winning the gold medal because if you have a healthy Barkov on that team, look out for them, man. I mean, Barkey's done it the last 2 years. He can shut down McDavid and Draisaitl when it comes to it. And I just thought them going in there without their captain, finding a way to win a bronze, scaring the shit out of us, going up 2-0. Good on them, and I know they like the ice cold Labatt Blues.
It was the first thought I had when you're bang on with it. If they had Barkov, this is a much different tournament. You know, if we had Crosby, it's different.
Yeah.
But there's no question that Alexander Barkov's the best, big monster two-way centerman
and
playing right now.
Especially in a one game, right, Swishy? Like a one game where you can throw Barkov out there against Eichel or you can throw him out there against McDavid. It's just like in one game showdown, he can go out there and be the guy to keep him off the score sheet. And they won the bronze and almost got to the gold without Barkey. I got to give credit to the Finns, man. They play the right way, they play hard, and they love representing their country.
Yeah, I mean, is there any other center iceman in the game of hockey that can put the clamps on one specific player, if not two guys, as well as Sasha Barkov? Like, he's like an elite cornerback if we're comparing it to football, where he shuts down the entire, side of the field or through the middle. Like, it's just crazy how good that guy is, and he still doesn't get enough credit, for how lethal he is defensively.
Yeah. They're pesky, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a pesky
Tkachuk
squad.
has what?
They
3 million?
play that trap.
They trap it up.
Like, how many people do they have there?
I know. Not
5 million. 5 million.
5 million fucking guys that like to drink and go in saunas and shoot.
and run around the rink. You probably noticed this when you went over there. You probably don't remember, but I would text you in loops and I'd be like, boys, this country's coming. Like, I'd go to a junior game because I had nothing else to do. They'd all play their guts out. Then they go all run around the rink after, work out, run stairs. I'm like, Jesus.
You're like, do you guys have couch at all?
Jeez. The one thing I did say to them in the playoffs, I'm like, if you have enough energy to run around the rink, maybe you're not playing hard enough out here in the playoffs. But boys, always drink responsibly and get those ice cold pristine Pilsners in ya. Fellas, it's the Luxury Auto Collection Dog of the Week. Fellas, whether you want to pull up to the rink in style or roll to the course with your boys in a National League Sprinter van, the fellas at Luxury Auto Collection have you covered. They don't just sell cars, they sell a lifestyle. Check them out online, luxuryautocollection.com. Promo code Curfew gets your shipping taken care of, fellas. The Luxury Auto Collection Dog of the Week is Connor Hellebuyck. You fucker. You big man. He looks so good in that net, man. It's when Boldy went in there and scored that first one, and after the first period, I'm like, one might be enough. Like, I've never seen him look so big and so calm. And yeah, we had some chances that we missed on him, but Connor Hellebuyck, you're the Luxury Auto Collection. Dog of the Week. Swish, I'll start with you, American-born player. This guy has been criticized. He can't be there for the big one. Well, you can stop saying that because he was the Secretary of Defense for the United States, Bella.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, and maybe even the national treasure, too, in terms of just what he brought to our team. But don't you think, boys, like, if you back it up to last season, now he's been a little bit shaky in terms of big-time moments, prior to this. But I do think even last year, beating Jordan Binnington in that Game 7 in Winnipeg did wonders for his confidence. It gave him an outlet of, like, I can get past this guy. Now, I know how mental some goalies are, but I just think, like, the way he was able to get through that maybe gave him just a little bit more confidence, because I had never seen him look that confident and calm in the cage ever before in a big-time game. And unless it took a perfect shot to beat him, like, he was stopping everything square. That save he made on Devon Toews was incredible. But just, I never seen him look so confident and calm, and especially with his feet back there in the cage. Nothing was beating him. I mean, that Makar shot was legit perfect, and that was the only thing that could beat him.
Yeah. You could just tell when a team plays the way they do in front of him like that, the confidence, the extra confidence it gives a guy. A guy that's, maybe struggled a little bit in the big game. Well, he knows that he's got Quinn Hughes in there. He knows he's got Werenski. He knows that these guys, are one game away from a gold medal, and that was what gave him, that extra sort of spazazz.
Yeah.
Because he just, like you said, Obes, I was thinking one could be enough, even with this 5-on-3 power play. Like we get that 5-on-3 power play, and I'm like, holy fuck, you know. And you got Celebrini that had 4 or 5 glorious chances. Maybe he didn't label him the way he wants to, but that doesn't mean if you're going to put one into the chest of Hellebuyck, he's not going to, you know, lay a rebound there. He was just swallowing pucks, and you could just tell that the U.S. playing in front of him like that, it was like the perfect storm for them.
He's a monster in there too, Swishy? Like I was just watching the game, and I love Binner. Binner, I love you. You're a gamer.
Yeah, he is.
Take you on my team any day of the week. You're kicking. The save you made on Quinn Hughes was unbelievable. They're coming across and grabbing it. But I'm looking at Binner and Arnett, and then I'm looking down at the big Secretary of Defense in the other fucking net, and I'm going, this is almost a mismatch here. Like this guy, there's not a whole lot to shoot at. Like you said, it took Makar's greatest shot. And Swishy, I want to give the USA defense credit. When Hellebuyck needed to get bailed out, they were there and fucking bailed him out.
Yeah, but if you guys on the Canadian side, and if you go back and rewatch that game, how many times did the Canadian attack or forwards really grab the eyes of Connor Hellebuyck? Like it was pretty perimeter in terms of not really a net front presence the entire game. So the U.S. defense did a great job of boxing guys out and letting Hellebuyck see the puck because there wasn't a ton of traffic in front of him. I mean, he played incredible, but the U.S. defense did a great job as well.
We're going to get into that right now, fella. You teed me right up. So Connor Hellebuyck, congratulations. Luxury Auto Collection. Dog of the week. Hey, by the way, the Jets right now are 11 points out behind the Duckies. I'm going to keep an eye here. If Hellebuyck goes back there, and I'm just thinking the confidence that he's going to have, maybe they can go on a run. I'm going to keep my eye on the Jets and see maybe if I can start sprinkling the infield with them. So, boys, moving on here at Missin Curfew. It is the Olympic curtain. It is the Olympic hockey, as Swishy said, curtain call. Fellas, you want to lounge by the water, enjoy waterside dining, and unwind in true Newport Beach style? The fellas at Missin Curfew got you covered. 20% off at Balboa Bay Resort with code CURFEW. The curtain call on Olympic hockey, like the Updog said, the whole Olympics really, but it was awesome that we had best on best. I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to have best on best. But when you want to talk about the gold medal game, we've kind of touched on it throughout the show, but we had our chances, man. We had our chances. McKinnon backdoor, I mean, he doesn't miss that 9 out of 10 times. Well, I guess it is 9 out of 10 times up. He buries that. The play that I keep seeing now on social media is the McAvoy in behind Hellebuyck, where Hellebuyck is finally out of position. McAvoy's on the goal line. It hits his chest, drops down there, spits it back out. Hellebuyck comes over, makes the save on the second one. Obviously, Devon Taves and the stick on stick. We had our chances, Upstock, and you cannot let a team like USA hang around. I'm watching the game by myself, fucking yelling at the TV going, we got to get at least 1 or 2 here. Like, you can't let those boys hang around, and then you get to a 3-on-3. It's a coin flip. Both teams have elite players. It is what it is, but when we let the USA hang around, their goalie played unbelievable. Swish, you mentioned their D-core. They bend it but didn't break. But when you're in the gold medal game, you got to just bring out that Louisville slugger and end it. And we didn't. We let them hang around.
I'm in these tournaments. It proves just the amount of luck you need to have. Like, Canada come back behind on two games to get in. You run into a hot goalie in a tournament like this, boys, and it could be turn the lights out. And then you're talking about, what could have been. This is a case of, a guy that arguably you could call it the golden save, the save on Tavares. Like that save, reaching back like that, desperate, and it hits your paddle so perfect that it misses the net. Fucking 99 times out of 100, that hits the paddle and goes right heart in the net. Like it's, you had to rewatch it 10 times to be like, is that physically possible to miss that? And
no.
And then, anything happens in 3-on-3. And we talked about this Sunday, but anything happens when the best players in the world are out running and gunning with the creativity that they have and the speed they have. And you're right. You let these guys hang around and it's corn dogs.
Yeah. And I even go back to that 5-on-3 too, right?
Fuck.
You know what I mean? And I can't believe that was in the second period. In the second period, you have a minute 43, I believe it was, give or take a couple seconds. And, nothing really that you could get a one-timer on or a grade A look. And then, a couple breakaways. Marner made a great pass to McDavid in the second period, sprung him. And McDavid kind of just shoveled it in on the strong side. So I mean, you can go back through it and pick it apart. I think, if you're talking to the analytical nerds, the expected goals for Canada that game were almost 5, right, to the Americans 1. So, and that could have been the score if Hellebuyck didn't stand on his head like he did and Canada was able to capitalize. But that's baseball, that's sports, and, ultimately, what can you do? What shoulda, coulda, Obi?
They played, Team USA was desperate. And one thing, like, I think we've gotten away from Updog a little bit is like, we get all this talent together, but like, still, like, let's not lose our Canadian hockey, like, pucks to the net, bodies to the net, fucking get greasy, fucking tip a couple in. Like,
yeah,
Swishy's right. Like, they did a good job of keeping us to the outside. And if there's one thing you can look back, maybe, is we didn't generate enough traffic in front of the big boy. And I text Lupo in the third period that started, I'd tell Tom Wilson to go out there and run him right now. Fucking run him. I know that's a meathead mentality and people are probably going to hate it, but I was like, this guy's not getting scored on tonight. Like, we got to do something to get in his kitchen.
Let's really fucking...
Well, maybe not run him, but like get in his eyes. In all seriousness, I'll be getting his eyes, a little more traffic. Because Swish, you make a great point. Like, maybe we didn't get enough traffic in front of him. But go ahead, Swish.
No, I was just saying it's hard too when Sid goes out, right? So then you're pretty top heavy in terms of 3 guys you're going to play because they're absolutely buzzing. You got McKinnon, McJesus, and Felabrini, and then the next 9 forwards or 10 forwards, depending on how many you dress, it's kind of hard to get going when you're playing 10 minutes a night too. I'm not criticizing Coop by all means. I would have been playing McDavid probably even more, but it's just just the terms of like deployment gets shifted a little bit because you don't have that number 87 down the middle. So now it's kind of a mixed bag. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I'm going to go back to what our teammate Brad Richardson said when you're picking these teams. You got to take the best players available, right?
And let them get accustomed to their role.
Yes, because I just think Crosby getting hurt, and I'm going to go the other way, and people can say I'm biased all they want. I thought John Cooper pushed every right button. I thought him putting the Bennett, Marchand, Wilson line together against the Finns single-handedly got us back in the game, and we came out on top. I thought when he put McDavid, Celebrini, and McKinnon together, it was the only move he could do because Crosby wasn't there, right? And now you're just mixing and matching, and he's got Marner and Stone, and I thought Coop did a hell of a job, and it's just unfortunate that we came up 1 goal short. But when the camera panned to him, and he just went, "Fuck."
That was reality.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah,
that's probably who I felt the worst for out of everyone, and McDavid. But for Coop, it was kind of his last check, right? That and probably winning the Jack Adams, which he'll probably do this year. Like, that was just, that was his to win, and fucking 1 goal.
Well, yeah, you go into after regulation in the room, and you look around, and you're like, all right, like, fuck. But boys, could you imagine, we're 1 goal away playing 3-on-3 hockey with this group of guys in here with Binner and net? Like, going into that, you feel like confident that you're coming out and you're going to get that goal. And then reality hits that goal is scored by Jack Hughes and the Americans hold that gold medal. That reality is what really sunk in, and you could see it in Coop's face when they panned to him. Like, yeah. Fuck. And then, and then just McKinnon hurled over and Binner skating towards the wall, like, fuck.
I didn't like McKinnon's body language the whole tournament. I don't know if someone's shitting his Cheerios or
I was good. Well, maybe that's what he got.
He was sick, I guess, but he's just his body language, like, and some of his comments heading in, like, I'm not going to go to any other events. I'm just here to win the gold medal. It's like, okay, I get it. You're focused, fella, but like, go to a few events, enjoy yourself, go out. Like, and I'm sure he did. Maybe that's just his mental game, but I love the way he played. His body language up, dog, all fucking tournament. I'm like, is this guy even having fun?
Yeah.
Like,
that's just who he is.
Yeah.
He's a creature. He's a creature of habit, and he's pretty stone cold Steve Austin when it comes to his on ice sort of habits. But you're right. Like, would he be the guy that launches his helmet up in the sky and
that was like great Selly.
But he just carries himself different, and he's always been like that. So it's hard to really knock, telling a guy to change just because he's in this moment.
Do you think we missed Point and Cirelli that were originally on the team? Like, there was times watching that game, I'm like, fuck, I could use Braden Point out there right now.
I think Braden Point is a big, he was a big subtraction to that team. just because of the way he plays.
And you could move him up and down the lineup, right? Like what Swish is saying is Coop was kind of handcuffed with after the injury, where you got Pointer where you can play him at center, you can play him at wing, you can kind of move him around a little bit.
He's a gamer, scores big goals, and he also does everything on the ice very, very well.
Swishy, back to your Team USA here. Their penalty kill, fella, 18 for 18. The 5-on-3 kill was huge. I mean, when you have that high octane out there, I already had it chalked up on the board as we're going up 2-1 here, or whatever it was. But the penalty killing, to me, that's where you show your character and your pride. And to go 18 for 18, I just wanted to give the boys on Team USA even more credit. Doesn't take skill to kill penalties. It takes balls, communication, being on the same page, and blocking shots. And to go 18 for 18 is unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was all the guys that Billy Guerin ultimately picked to play that role. And it was all of our older players. I mean, our oldest player on the roster was Brock Nelson. He's a 91 birth year, as opposed to a guy like Sidney Crosby, who's an 87. And then you go to Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller. Those guys, I mean, that's why they were picked for the team. Stick to the guts, responsible players, get the puck out of the zone, advance it, don't take too many risks. And they played that role to a T where they were heavily criticized going into the tournament. So, yeah, those would be the unsung heroes of the team. But that penalty kill, that 5-on-3, that's when I knew we had a chance. I knew we were getting outplayed a little bit. The ice was starting to tilt. But how calm and composed those guys going over the boards were for that penalty kill was amazing. Sticks to the guts, Obi. You know that.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, to go 18 for 18 is impressive at the best on best. And just back to Team Canada, last thing for me is no disrespect to Doug Armstrong. He's got one more Stanley Cup than I do. I can't imagine being the GM of an NHL team and having to put together the most pressure cooker team in Team Canada. And if it's gold or bust, I think moving forward, it needs to be an ex-player that has played for Team Canada at the highest level and is maybe not a GM already in the NHL and say, okay, in 2 years, we're going to have a World Cup, and in 4 years, we're going to have the Olympics. You're the GM for both of those. So for the next 4 years, Chris Pronger, let's say, you are the fucking GM of this team, and all you do is fucking focus on the World Cup and the Olympics.
There's no bias on players.
Just give it to one of those boys. They would do it. I mean, a guy like Chris Pronger, maybe Jerome McGinley, Scottie Niedermayer, Eichman's already a GM. Sakic's a president now. Maybe it's Joe. He doesn't do as much with the Avalanche anymore. But in a perfect world, Dog, I do think if we had a guy that played at that level and could be fully committed to it, I think it might help Team Canada.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It would almost have to be like a full national, sort of program that you lean on. You're not so much just watching these guys, but you're bringing them in and you're getting them accustomed to each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
With the sole purpose that for the next 4 years, we're going to play hopefully a World Cup, and then getting back to this goal again of winning the Olympic gold medal. You kind of got to structure how the team's going to come together and sort of mesh differently.
Yeah.
Maybe it is those moments in the summer.
And some people may be thinking, oh, you're overthinking it. When it's this close, Swishy, and the teams are this close, who knows what it is? Who knows what is the difference between winning a gold medal and losing in a fucking 3-on-3 overtime? Like, it's that tight that every little asset or resource that you can use, fucking why not use it? It's that we're talking about a bounce here, a bounce there. You never know what's going to be the difference between winning and losing at this level when it's so close, like I said.
Yeah, and you make a good point where if you had a guy just dedicated to one sole position like that, it just allows more time for that general manager to go into different National League cities, spend time with players, coaches, staff members, get to know guys on a personal level, and get to know guys just having a better, I guess, overall feel versus going off of just a word of someone else. You're now there, boots on the ground, to really feel it and absorb it on so many different levels. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, like they panned up to the booth, and our boy Getzy was up there, and Kyle Dubas, and Rick Nash, I think, and Doug, and there was how many guys are a lot of guys up there that already have jobs that take up a lot of time. Like I'm no GM in the NHL, but I'm sure it takes up a lot of your time, right?
Yeah, it's an honor to be in that position. And
for sure,
guys, they look at your. How much time can you put into this? They look at the history and what you're doing with your current team. They look how you are organized and you set up team calls. And, Gretz is on calls.
Yeah.
Gretz is on calls for personnel. He's on calls for what the team should do.
Like, right? You should always have Gretz and Messier involved in as much as they want to be.
So to your point, I think these guys really say, I can be the guy for the job. I want the job. They all want the job.
Yeah.
But it comes down to like, is the team chosen from a non-bias, like I have this guy at my team and so does the coach and so does this GM over here, to a guy like that can devote his whole time to structuring the right coaching
That's exactly
staff.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that I don't think anyone would argue with,
because it's human nature, as you two guys know, right? Like, let's say I was picking the team. I would want you two guys on my team because I fucking love you guys. Like, and you play with me, right? You're on my team. Like, for Coop, I'm sure he wanted Point and Cirelli on his team, and Army wanted Parenko there. Like, it's human nature, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I think if we had a guy that could just really pull himself away from all 32 teams and look at it like, okay, I'm going to pick my guys here.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I don't think anyone would argue with that.
Yeah. And the last thing for me, boys, here on our Olympic curtain call, we need a World Cup. Now is the time. Every 2 years, and boys, the World Cup final, 2 out of 3. Just like it was in 96. 2 out of 3. None of this one game fucking. A 2 out of 3 final for the World Cup every 2 years. I think it's got to happen.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Everyone wants it.
Everyone wants it.
Look at what the last 2 games that, were for deciding championships on international hockey happened to be just 4 nations, US, Canada, and now the Olympic gold. And what that's done for hockey. You say like, Jack Hughes just got 500,000 followers. Well, think about hockey in general. How many more eyeballs and followers and kids and parents that go, you know what? It's worth driving to the rink every morning that my kid has a chance to fucking play for his country like this on a level like this. I don't think hockey's been ever put in a better place than it currently is right now with the way that these 2 international games, minus the Stanley Cup final and Connor McDavid being there 2 years and Florida, doing what they've done. No, talk about international hockey on the biggest stage ever. And the games being what they have been. 2 overtime games that have been decided by 2 great kids scoring big goals and hockey put at the forefront. And it proves that it's a better live sport than almost any other sport. It comes down to 1 game, 1 goal, and the heat of the building. Schmaltzy, that's just, there's no other sport that could top that.
Yeah, I mean, and you make a great point up, Doug, with, I just think the 4 nations was the precursor. It set up what this, whole Olympic experience was ultimately for USA to grab the gold. But I do think the 4 nations put USA hockey and hockey on the map, how good that was. And then obviously the final being in Boston. So everyone glued to the TV. And then the momentum you ride a year later into a rematch for a gold medal and for USA to come out on top, it does wonders for hockey in the U.S. And I also just think, like, just imagine just the kids 20 years from now that are on that Team USA. They're going to be looking at this. Like, Beckham Upshaw is going to be looking at this game if he's playing for USA, which I hope he is.
Fuck, he would be, Wade.
He'd
be playing for USA, right?
He's got 2 passports, but yeah, I mean,
right.
He's American.
We'll see. He's Canadian too.
Yeah, so who knows, or whoever it is. I just think it does wonders for kids. More kids born in non-traditional hockey markets, whether it's the Orange County or Austin Matthews or the worlds of Scottsdale. Boys, it's just great for the game, and the game's only can continue to rise. And Obi, to wrap this up, we need the World Cup of hockey back, and we need it played on U.S. and Canadian soil, fella
tour. Boys, can I tell you what I really want? I'm not going to get it because Uppy made a good point at breakfast this morning. He's like, you just want these guys to kick the shit out of themselves I want a Canada USA 4-7. I want to see a 4-7 fucking Canada USA back and forth, Vancouver, Vegas, Edmonton, Chicago, New York, fucking Toronto. Like, I know it's not going to happen, but God, just imagine. Let's just put our fucking whatever fun hat on for a second. Like, could you imagine?
Well, it's already 1-1, so it's just the best of 5.
For best of 5?
You could go that route.
Yeah. What's not going to happen?
No one would argue that. But yeah, no, it wouldn't happen. Just the amount of toll this had taken on. Imagine they had
4-7 series.
Yeah, but good luck playing back in the NHL after that.
I know.
Could some Saudi money step in here and go full live and just pay these guys, $10 million each to play in this 4-7? Then maybe you could get them there in the summer.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, in August, end of August, 4-7, right before camp.
I mean, yeah.
But it's not going to happen. I just think right now it's 1-1. Like you set up, dog, it's 1-1. They got the bigger prize. I mean, we'll take the 4 nations Coop brought the trophy out. The Stampede was unbelievable, but I'm sure all the boys would trade that for a gold medal, right? But it's 1-1. It's just the countries are so close now. It would be. But World Cup and Swiss, you like 2 out of 3 for the final, like back in the day? I think that'd be unbelievable too.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, if it's going to be World Cup, I think it's got to be NHL rules, like playoff rules, where it's 5-on-5 and just compete to the death, and it's 2 out of 3. 4 out of 7 might be a stretch, but for that final, yeah, I love that.
A little 2 out of 3.
Little 2 out of 3 final, she can win.
Where would the cities be? Where would you want game 1, Canada, USA, World Cup? Where's game 1? USA as home ice. Where do you want it?
For game 1?
Yeah.
Game 1, I'd go Chicago.
I'd go Vegas. Swishy, where would you want game 1?
Chicago, New York, MSG.
Yeah, like Chicago would be great. And then you can sprinkle Vegas in there, but it had to be another original 6. So it was great for the final. Maybe even, Detroit would be a good landing spot.
I go if you boys got home ice, I go Vegas, Montreal, MSG. If we got home ice, I go Vancouver, Vegas, Montreal. Or Toronto.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. I don't know how that would work. It's above my pay grade. These teams are so close that a 1 game, bounce here, bounce there, right? It's like,
yeah,
it's so close.
We're lucky we even got to the final, man. It was so hard. It was such a hard battle to get in there. Woo. Yeah,
right?
Crazy.
I will say your little tap-in game against the Slovaks you had there in the semis was probably nice for the boys. Just a little 5-0 thumping. That had to be nice for the boys.
Yeah, but you can't discount that Swedish game either. I mean, we barely got there too. I mean, Quinn Hughes had to go full Allen Iverson and call ISO.
Yeah, that was
in that game. I was nervous for that game.
No, I mean the Swedes and the Finns right there. Czechs had a Cinderella story. Slovaks, they came together. We need a World Cup, boys. I hope that happens. Moving on here, boys. It's the Jäger Iciest shot of the night, presented by Jägermeister. Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister, damn, that's cold. For more information, visit Jägermeister.com. And fellas, always drink responsibly. It's the golden goal, boys. I'm sitting there watching it. Makar, right? I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get in there and fucking we got it here. Nice. McDavid went full up dog there to the net. But right here, I can see what Makar's thinking. Good play right there by Hughes. McKinnon, you got to go to him. You got to go to him. Right there. Damn, that's cold. What a shot. What a celly. Jack Hughes is now the most famous person in this country for sure. Coop. I know, Coop, I feel your pain. But what a shot up, dog. Damn, that's cold. The golden goal is our Jäger Iciest shot of the night. Great play by Hughes in the neutral zone there to fucking keep that play going.
Yeah, right inside his own.
Inside his blue line.
Yeah, it's a great play.
Yeah.
It's a hockey play. It happens a lot, but in this case, it was the right play against it's 3 of the best players in the world against another 3 of the best players in the world, and it's only a matter of time where someone's going to get a great look and a great chance and score. And the golden goal now is owned and operated by Jack Hughes of the United States, and I'm sad, but at the same time, I'm proud of this kid, and I'm proud that hockey is what it is and got put on this stage because it's the game that has lived in our hearts as the best game ever. And now, when this happens, it only snowballs and fucking A.
What a celly. Fuck, he fires his bucket, bro. The 13th, 14th row. Swishy, right along the ice, fella. I saw one of your posts on X, right along the ice, right?
All big goals are scored on the river, Obes. You date it back to the 2010 Olympics. Sidney Crosby on the river. Every big goal, if you ever notice, is always scored right along the river. But that play by Jack Hughes, I mean, if he doesn't get the fire poker on that puck, it's a 2-on-0 the other way. So she's a game of inches, baby.
I think Makar was thinking, I kind of know, like, it's him. He's like, if I get this puck, it's me and McDavid on a 2-on-1 here, and the gold medal is mine.
2-on-0.
2-on-0.
It was a 2-on-0.
Yeah. He's like, bring me the gold medal. Run again, KC.
He got a little horned up.
Yeah, but he knows he's going to give it right to 97, and it's a breakaway. Yeah, right? It's game over. Nate Dogg, you got to close there. Just go to him right away. But I guess he saw Hughes in his. We didn't play that perfect. But what a shot. Right along the river, as Fishy says. Damn, that's cold. Last but not least here at Missin Curfew, it is milk carton time. Up, dog. Going back to your Oilers. Take Paul Coffey off the milk carton. He's back. He's back behind the bench. From what I've seen online, there's been some mixed emotion about it. I think it's great. I mean, anytime you can get Paul Coffey back in there, I'm sure he probably doesn't really want to do it. But when he was there, they were a better team defensively. Why not come back behind the bench? And I don't know exactly if I'm assuming he's going to be running the D.
I think there was a little disconnect with how things, lasted last year. Maybe it's some internal rumblings within the coaching staff, but Paul Coffey brought the Oilers D and he brought Evan Bouchard to a place that he hadn't quite been. He needed to evolve as the two-way guy and trust his instincts. And I think Paul Coffey brought the best out for him.
Yeah.
There's no question that Edmonton hasn't had the success this year so far that they're missing something. And Paul Coffey is a legend. I think they all look up to him. It probably wasn't a player decision. This was probably Paul Coffey wanting to step away for a bit. But welcome back, Coff. You're a legend. And I want to see the Oilers fucking get a nice little streak going.
Yeah, Swish, anytime you could put Paul Coffey back behind your bench. I mean, from the last couple of years, he's a calming influence. And then when it comes down to breaking down the game, I think it's good on Coff and good on the Oilers. This is a no-brainer for me.
So who makes that call? Because I'm not here to make it a soap opera or a reality TV show, but I don't know if there's exactly on that coaching staff, a lot of those guys see eye to eye, is from what I'm told from, just different people. But is that Chuck Knobloch bringing him back on? Is that a Stan Bowman thing? Is that a Daryl Cates thing? Like, who ultimately decides that, you think?
The last two guys you said, the owner and the GM. And,
Yep.
Draisaitl's parting shots before the Olympics, he said that for a reason. And some people were like, well, they took it out of miscontact. He was upset with the way things were going. Obviously, there's going to be some in-house discussion over the Olympic break. Coff is there. Why not bring him back? Or maybe Knobloch might have said, hey, we're missing Coff. We need you back. But in my opinion, this is just me what I think. I think it's a GM and an owner being like, okay, our best player, second best player is not happy. Let's do something about it.
I think you're missing one piece too. It's probably Connor. It's probably Connor going, bring back Coff.
Yeah.
Because our D need something different. And that's... Yeah, it's arguably it's coming from Connor and from Leon.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
because they're going to say whatever sort of issues were going on with the coaching staff, you guys figure it out. We need Coff back in the room.
And I think it's an easier sell to Coff, right? Like, Coff, listen, we got 20 some games left. It's a sprint to the fucking playoffs, and then it's the greatest time. Paul Coffey wants to be standing behind that bench for a chance to win a Stanley Cup for Connor McDavid. He just didn't want to go through the dog days, as Uppy said, right? Training camp. He's like, fuck, I don't have 82 in me. Hey, Coff doesn't have 82 in him, Swish.
No. Neither should he put together 82. The guy played 1,500 matches in the National League. He's still doing it. So, yeah, I mean, anytime you can get a Hall of Famer back on your coaching staff, it's not going to hurt.
Not going to hurt. And he's an absolute beauty from everything
I
I've
can't
heard.
wait to see him tomorrow behind the bench.
Yeah.
I'll be at the game.
The last thing for me on the milk carton here, Updog, as a Canadian guy, I got to say, the black maple leaf, no more. Leave it at home. I mean, either we have a white maple leaf or a red maple leaf. Casey, if you could pull up either a 2010 jersey or whatever you can there. But to me, when the jerseys came out, I didn't like the black maple leaf. I thought it looked sick enough. Like, it did look sick. But to me, we need a red or white maple leaf. So I'm putting the black maple leaf on the milk carton. Leave it at home. Just give me a red or white.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm whatever. I just think there's no black in our flag. We just need a red or white maple.
Strong. The red is a strong color. The most worn color by any championship team in the history of sports is red.
Is it?
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
We just put you on the Olympic committee.
You look back, it's the Red Sox, it's the Wings, it's the Montreal Canadiens. There's just been a lot of red one.
Yeah. Switchy, I said right from the start of the tournaments that the U.S. jerseys were just a little bit crispier than ours too. Not our white ones were sharp, but I just even thought your uni, like, there you go. That's all you need right there. Right there is all you need. A red maple leaf on a red tarp.